Hi, this is Carolyn, and I'm here with Erin, and this is part 2 of our episodes on tiebreakers with Karen Rembert. In part 1, Karen gave us a few strategies or her philosophy on tiebreakers, but here is part 2. Do you have any tips for not going away mentally? Because I've done that before. And I've gone into tiebreak and I go, I'm going to hit the ball as hard as I can for every single shot. And I mean, it's so dumb. Or I'm tired. I go in tired and I'm super aggressive, even though I know I'm tired. I don't know.
And I think when we talk about like your actual strategy, it's very dependent on who you're playing and how you're playing. If you figured out a way to win in the second set, you're going to need to continue to put that pressure on, whatever it was. If you were lobbing, if you were hitting short, if you were hitting through the ball, you continue that pressure. If you drop that second set pretty significantly, if there was a definite momentum switch, then you're probably going to need to change your strategy a little bit. We played a doubles match in a tournament in South Carolina, and there's also that debate of, do you take a break or do you keep playing, right? And I have not figured out the answer to that, but we won the second set pretty handily. We took a break because I thought we were going to be a little too hyped up after winning the second set so easily. I was like, let's just settle down and not have that letdown. Well, that gave them enough time to decide that they were going to switch sides. You know, the deuce player played the ad side, and they came back and they kind of steamrolled us. And so I was like, okay, well, we shouldn't have taken the break, because then we gave them more time to work on their strategy. We had the momentum, probably, but hindsight's 2020. But I think the biggest thing is to answer your question about how do I not just get mad or be tired, and that's all your self-talk. And I'm a firm believer in your thoughts. If you take your thoughts to a stop sign and you have a choice, you can go left and you can go negative and you can feel sorry for yourself and you can mope and you can make it a miserable experience and you don't give them any credit. Or you can go right and you can tell yourself, she hit a good shot. I made a mistake. I'm good. I'm ready for the next point. It's your choice. And I think that's true in life too. It's your choice. You can go left or you can go right. But you have to practice it. You can't just say, okay, I'm going to go right. You need to, when you feel yourself going left, you need to stop and go, no, she hit a good shot. We're good. It's 6-5. We're right in this. We cannot get down that slippery slope and not recover from it.
Yeah. I think that's why tennis is both amazing and frustrating too, because I definitely went left in my match this weekend because I didn't like, and we've done this podcast enough to know, like we've said this a million times.
We should go right. We should go right.
No. It was more like, I didn't like, I played against a crazy good slicer. I could not, like, there was no rhythm. Her and I have history. There was no niceties. Like, I was just like not wanting to be in that match, but I still needed to win that match. Right. And for my own ego, let's just say, I needed to not go left and just say, and she is a good player. Like, I can, after the fact, give her big credit for, she wins a ton of matches because she plays super unconventionally. But man, we were just frustrated with both her and her partner, like emotionally frustrated with them. Not even like what shots they were hitting, just like they're frustrating to play against. And so, after I was like, I can give them huge credit for being good players and I see why they win a lot of matches. I didn't like the way the tennis was going at the time. And so I just went left and was like, I do feel like usually I can kind of remember a tiebreaker. And that one, I just think I had that mentality of like, I kind of just want off the court. I want to win it, but I want off the court.
I didn't want to
do the work to get off the court and be the winner. I just wanted to be the winner, and get off the court very quickly. Yeah.
I wish it worked like that. I wish we could just wish the win. I don't want to do the work. I just want to wish the win.
I know. And I do get that, like, I shouldn't be in this tiebreaker. I shouldn't have lost the first set to even be in this tiebreaker. And I have to like keep some sort of like card in my bag to pull out in those situations and say, stop your emotions right now.
All of those thoughts are not helpful for the situation. No. And then when you look back and you go, well, what was I thinking? Why couldn't I just be in the presence and go, a lot of times my self-talk is play a good point, 4 balls in, be here, or it is what it is. If I'm not playing well, It is what it is. And figure out a way to win not playing well, but be okay with the battle. And I think that's a lot of us, is we get tired, mentally or physically tired, and we start making excuses, and we don't just fight the fight and say, okay, at the end of the day, when it takes me a day to go, all right, they played a good match.
Yep. I told Carolyn that this morning.
All the fluff interfere instead of just playing the ball. And I learned this lesson early, is especially if you're irritated with your opponent, they're not your friend, there's contention, play the ball. Don't look at them. Don't put your stuff near them. Don't think about them. Just play the ball. But it's the looking at them that can let your thoughts
get under your skin.
Get under your skin.
Yes.
Especially if they don't look like tennis players. You're like, what am I even doing out here?
I've gone there before. I'm really bad at this sport.
Yeah. I played them a while ago. The same duo. I played them, and the whole time in that one we ended up winning in match tiebreak, but this time I lost. And the whole time I thought, they need to take some lessons. Like, I just kept thinking about their technique. And I know Karen's watched me play enough. I know I don't look great, but I've taken a million lessons, and I just kept thinking,
you look good. Don't you doubt that?
I don't know, but that was my mentality.
That's what you were thinking. They need to take
in
lessons.
The first match. This match, I was just like, I got stuff to do. They're irritating me. I should have played the ball. I remember you saying that too in Costa Rica. Play the ball. Then it has nothing to do with
It's not easy. It sounds like it's easy, but it's discipline and practice doing that, right? And it is amazing. I think I find myself even now when I'm drilling and doing a drill that I'm terrible at, all I want to do is get out of that drill and do something that I'm good at. And that's when we need to really have the discipline and say, no, you're doing this drill because you obviously need this drill, right? And if you're in that, and obviously going in playing teams that all right, last two times we played were third set tiebreakers, it's going to be a battle, and I'm going to stay in it. And if you're even, it's going to, you play 10 times, it's probably going to be 5 and 5, and then you just hit the practice courts and work harder next time. But it's more about not beating yourself than beating them, right? And because if you're battling yourself, now you've got 3 opponents, yourself and them, right? And your partner's looking at you going, I need you here now, right? Right.
Yeah.
Do you have different advice because you teach all levels, and just so everybody knows, Karen is a 5.0 right now, and she's fabulous. But do you teach different philosophies or a different way? Or I guess the better question is, what's the best advice you can give to the different levels from 2.5 all the way to maybe 4.0 to 4.5?
Yes, there's definitely different advice. And I think that I could probably say 3 or 4 things on each thing. But what I find most helpful if I'm teaching somebody who's just starting 2.5 is, and this is true for all levels, obviously have fun. That's my biggest advice. It's a game, and there's so much more than just the tennis. But the 2.5s, I'm going to say, really make sure you learn good technique. It doesn't have to be great technique. It doesn't have to be perfect. But if you can start learning with the right grips and have a decent swing path, you're not going to be limited into how good you can get. So spend the time. If you take a lot of clinics, you might not get that individualized attention. I would rather you take 1 or 2 lessons a month, but learn good technique. And that way you won't be limited in the future. For my 3.0s, it's keep the ball in play. You're going to win that match if you can keep the ball in play and learn how to play the net then, right? So you don't want to get to 4.0 or a good 3.5 and go, oh, I wish I learned how to volley. Learn it then. The 3.5s, I would say start learning your weapons. Start being able to put your overhead away. Have a decent first serve. When you get a high volley, make sure you can finish the point. So learning your weapons. The 4.0s kind of have all of those things. That's why you're playing 4.0. So the 4.0 becomes more of a mental, being able to adjust your fight, or being able to adjust your game plan and not go away mentally. And when I look at the difference in the 4-0s that have just gotten there and the 4-0s that are going into the 4-5s, they don't come off the court going, oh, all they did was lob me. I can't play that game. If they had been a little bit better, I'd have beaten them, right? Those girls by that time, they know you have to beat all types of players.
Right.
And that's why you're playing that level. So many times I hear these girls come off the court and they're like, I just wanted to hit the ball. Like, well, today wasn't the day that you were just going to be able to hit the ball. Today was a day that maybe you needed to lob over Sally's backhand and come in behind it and do something different because what you were doing wasn't working. Right. So I think that would be my kind of the glossed over version of what I like. But at the end of the day, it's such a great sport and we have to have fun and we're not making any money playing. So, and the friendships and the things that happen, and especially in our town, the tennis world is small, and carry yourself well, good sportsmanship. Don't argue over line calls. Don't be that person because it carries with you. And that is what makes people quit the game is when it gets more negative than positive. And the positives are so big and so fun. And like I told you, we were just at the Cup and we got so much rain, but we still had so much fun. And we were out there at midnight. Our last match came off the court at midnight. And then we had to be back out at the courts at 7:30 and we're tired but it's fun. It's cause it's the friendships and it's everything that goes around it. The exercise and the endorphins that it releases and the social. And so that's my advice to everybody is be good out there.
Be a good person.
Be a good person. Be a good person.
Don't be a jerk.
Don't
be a jerk. for goodness sakes. So
thanks again to Karen for coming on the podcast. We've included more information about her tennis camp in Costa Rica in our show notes. We hope you check out our website, which is secondservepodcast.com. Thanks so much for listening and hope to see you on the court soon.